G'day, welcome to part 3 of our attempt to take over the world in all countries mode. Okay, so we do have a fair bit of money and a fair bit of time on our hands at the moment. Now just having a quick scan over what we're doing to make sure that I haven't forgotten anything that currently needs to be addressed. Get Cleveland in there. We will upgrade their plane. We will get San Francisco, I assume. No, San Jose. I'll give them a bit more of a speedy plane because that's a bit of a distance to go. I feel like I get the sense that as these sort of prices go up for some of these campaigns, that doesn't actually match the amount that you're going to get. Now, I wonder how to play this with Seattle, because I know that, say, Vancouver is going to show up right behind it, and I do know Anchorage does exist in this game at least. So do I expect that Seattle's going to be a sort of a little hub for that? I mean, at this point I probably don't need to make too much for it, but I could make another connection across that way. Okay. Speed things up. They're looking alright. Paris is staying yellow, but I mean, that is still 4,000 of 10,000. We can double that again if need be. It's just that we don't want that to surprise us if that needs to go up. But what we do want is give Paris a bit of a break. Los Angeles is the majority, and so is Atlanta. So what we could do is make a connecting flight just direct to Atlanta for that, or just go direct to Houston for 12,000. I mean, that's a big part of our income. But that build, do I click off it? Try that again. Oh, all right. Oh no, it did build. It just was way higher than I expected. And we certainly want at least 3 planes on that. The big question is going to be whether, well, I mean, I assume places like Los Angeles will now just sit on their hands waiting for people that'll fly them direct to Houston as opposed to having to go through Washington. Yeah, let's donate. I think we're going to get 1,000 back for that probably. Get another one on there. Yeah, wasn't worth it. And I think that's basically what it means with a lot of these new, like sort of the PR campaigns and everything now. I don't think they actually do give you the same, like the amount of money you gain isn't necessarily going up as much as the amount of money you're spending. Alright, let's get another one on there. And Los Angeles is going down. Houston's and Dallas are all the major ones now, so a lot of this actually is that lower connection. Okay, now let's get Uganda going. Now what I think is this section of Africa, I might get to connect via the Democratic Republic of Congo. I don't think they'll necessarily be... There was one of the challenge maps that is Central Africa, and certainly busy wouldn't be a word to describe the airports, so hopefully those sort of longer routes won't be too bad for them. I mean, it actually probably also means you could put just sort of like really short routes and have them daisy chain a bit more, and it wouldn't impact them because there's not that many people moving through the different destinations. But the rules of that particular challenge may be different to the rules of all country mode. Okay. On. Let's just do a quick jump of trying to up our... Alright, where are you? That is certainly going to come up a few times. I imagine that there's places that I've just flat missed. So we'll get back on this. And since they're already starting at level 2, we probably can go level 3 is what we, just sort of one update to our planes. Although since we've got a lot of money at this point, possibly we're better off just sort of backing up that our planes to make sure that they are nice and efficient. Because we're making good money at this point. At this point, I mean, potentially this will go faster and worse, but we'll see. Azerbaijan. Do I know where Azerbaijan is? Whoa. Don't tell me. There we are. A bit of a stretch from anywhere else we've got. And I think what I'll do there is I'll just buy Turkey. Get Turkey connected to Rome. And then connect Azerbaijan through there. And we will also get them connected through Berlin. And Moscow as well. I couldn't even tell you where Eteria is. Is that problematic for me? Yeah, I think I was as new to the concept of that country last video as I was in this one. Have they had a name change at some point? I know that a few African countries that have, well, just countries in general, I suppose, that do change their names. I feel there was a few years ago that I was surprised to learn that Yugoslavia no longer existed and hadn't existed for a very long time. And I can't tell you why I considered it so relevant. I know maybe World War histories might contain Yugoslavia. But I mean, don't worry, I've fought on that Austro-Hungary doesn't exist. Or Prussia. Okay, Estonia is up next. So that's again a nice little one that we'll just grab to up our time. I can see that those are starting to cost us about 10,000 or so. So there is a bit of budget going to that. Glasgow. Okay. Let's not mess around with this plane then. If Glasgow's going that hard, let's give him a second. Do you want to give him a second plane? I mean, we don't want... We don't want Paris to fall over just purely because Glasgow's gone insane. But was there a reason that Glasgow went insane? I might have missed the memo if there was something in particular that had everyone flocking to Glasgow. So hopefully that'll just calm down, and just giving them that one plane booster will be enough. We'll just update San Diego a bit. I'm a big fan of San Diego as well, when it comes to American cities. I support the Padres when it comes to baseball. Some people may ask why, and I say, well, it's the closest team to where I live, right there. But I also think that actually it's the city that most reminds me of Melbourne. I've been to a lot of America. I haven't done the Northeast and the Midwest, but I have been to every state from about there. Not North Dakota, I've been to South Dakota, and then sort of Wyoming and all of that I've been to. All of these ones, as well as Hawaii and Alaska, and I can tell you, if you want an idea of what Melbourne is like as a city, either San Diego or possibly Vancouver. But yeah, real home feel to San Diego. With probably not as good Mexican food, though. Melbourne, that is. Favorite part of America in general? Yellowstone. I would say it's one of the most beautiful places in the planet. And if you are American and have never been there, make it a priority. If you can get there nice and easily, it's stunning. Alright, Mexico is up next. New Mexico I have been to, again courtesy of San Diego. I did cross the border into Tijuana as about a 15-year-old and hated it. And I certainly don't blame Mexico for that. I can completely understand that that is a tourist trap of a town. I remember we went for about an hour, then we crossed back the border back into America, went to Taco Bell, I went to some outlet shop where I got a t-shirt that looked like it was a Calvin Klein t-shirt, but instead of saying Calvin Klein, it said Cosmo Kramer, because it was the 90s and that's the sort of clothing you bought. Oh, now Tyrion's got a Ebola. Now, I do wonder why I haven't heard of Eteria. It does feel possibly because it's slowly getting wiped off the map, getting hit with every major disease. So we'll just give this a few minutes to build a little bit here. Oh look, why is this guy starting to buckle as much as he is? Just in case people are trying to use that as a quick route, and actually probably want that route to exist too. And we've got our major cities. If we've got a nice network between them, hopefully that will make this flight travel, like the spoken wheel style here, a bit better. I mean, definitely it is going to have a problem if anyone starts to suffer the same sort of problems as Eteria is. Let's just shore them up a bit more. So I suppose Moscow is now... Moscow, if stuff's going to Moscow via there, it can certainly start to have problems. Okay. Now with all this, we probably could have made just like Los Angeles a hub. There are a few more cities over here than I probably expected them to give us. We change it now. I'm gonna say yes. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we will get rid of these other routes. No, that's Los Angeles' route. Sell. 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 Part of it is the warnings that I have had some people comment about how this game can really start to lag heavily once you get into late game because of the amount of planes and everything on the map. So that's sort of the main reason in this particular layout I'm not going to keep those extra lines. I'll just upgrade Los Angeles a few times. In part it's because I assume that possibly Hawaii may end up coming into this, and Anchorage, and we can just sort of, well, I suppose Anchorage can go there. We can levy that in here, but we can also probably make a connection between these two. We don't need to worry about that just yet. So we'll have Mexico go to Houston. And we will consider the idea of also jumping that straight to Washington. But since you can get direct to Europe from Houston, it probably doesn't need to go up there. I can't imagine there's going to be too much travel that's actually coming on that route. It would only be these cities here that are actually getting to Mexico on that Washington route. Alright, where's Rwanda? A bit further north? Somewhere in here? Yeah, there we go. Now, assumingly, that's going to just be a one city down. One city country, rather. We got 9 people on that flight, so probably don't need to upgrade them too much. I think the yellow makes you panic a little bit more than you actually need to. Yellow is like 40% busy. It's not like 80% busy like sometimes you instinctively think it will be. That's nice and close. That build. Alright, Canada is up next. I've been to Canada twice. Once to Niagara Falls for an overnight visit there, and once to, oh, technically twice. So I went to Vancouver, and then for a couple of days, and then we came back south to Bellingham, Washington, to go to take a boat up the coast of Canada and Alaska to get to Whittier, which is, I think it's either, I think it's there or it's there. And so technically we came back into America, and when we got on the boat through these waters here and these inlets, we would have been Canadian waters. So technically I've been to Canada 3 times, I suppose. That is stunning, by the way. You want a gorgeous piece of the world? That right there. Because you're traveling through inlets, not the open ocean, the water is pristine. You're heading west, so the sun sets in front of you. The water lights up yellow. There are whales swimming through those inlets. Bald eagles in the trees. My goodness. Definitely would do it again. Oh, though on the last day, we went to, what was the cities? So it was Ketchikan, then Juneau, then maybe somewhere else, and then Yakutat. And Yakutat is I think, got a population of about 400. And after you hit that, the next city was Whittier, which is the sort of the port that you would go to if you were trying to get to Anchorage. And from Yakutat to Whittier, it was open ocean, and oh, I was nauseous that day. I even went back into the cabin for a little bit to lay down, and you could just see the paintings on the wall just rocking back and forth, and oh. All right, let's get Ottawa. Rome is almost full. So what is dragging down Rome? Istanbul. All right, so we want to upgrade this plane to its max then. Let's upgrade Rome as well. That plane's probably big enough on short enough the route that that's going to be okay. But we'll update that one too. Guatemala. Guatemala is there. Capital of Guatemala, Guatemala. Alright, we'll get another nice fast jet going there. Now, I think that what I might try and do at this point, because I am staying pretty well in front of the time, is it'll be at least 20,000 will be my aim. That I'll invest into a new country once we have $20,000 in the bank, just in case anything starts to really collapse. As it stands, we're looking all right. Mexico City, and a lot of Mexico is where starting to have its capacity build, but I think that a lot of that will ebb and flow. Seems like generally when you bring in a new country or a new city, it might be a sudden pop at that point to go like, oh, it's new. Everyone's like, a lot of places are going to now have that as a place as a destination, and so you do sort of see a sudden surge to something like that, but then hopefully it should just quiet down again. Angola. I think Angola's the one that tricked me last time. But I went looking in Africa for it, but it's actually in Europe. Now, Central Africa actually is a hub. No, it's not. Good. That's a relief. Alright, let's see if I can find Angola this time. Or have I made my mix this up again? No, it was Algeria, I think, that got me last time. Angola. It sounds European. But I mean, there's not that much left of Europe for it to possibly be in. Alright, I concede. Where is it? Wow. Way off. I can probably guess which country, whereas, well, I'm not sure from that location there. I would have assumed it was on the Mexican side of that border, but that looks the American side. But we'll put that in, go to Houston instead of having to travel all the way down to Mexico. I mean, this is probably a quicker route for it anyway to take that express plane down to Mexico City. Western Sahara. Morocco is going all the way up into Spain. So where do I think that this guy should go? I mean, this is where I sort of feel that, like, I want to send... Where is Vancouver? I want to, get him faster. Just make sure that this guy's a bit more sure of himself too. Whether I sort of bring him down to Mali as a central point. Because I think Mali's, from the last time I played, all of these cities can sort of centralize to this. But the only issue being if Mali ever goes down as a pretty long way for it to travel though. It's almost faster for it to go to Madrid. So let's send that one to Madrid, and we'll also send it that way. We can have 2 long flights. We will give it, I mean, we've got enough money that we'll spare no expense on the route tickets, but we will send these guys just straight to Madrid. Again, I don't think that that's going to be an overly busy location, Western Sahara. Okay. This guy's getting a little bit busy. Belize. It's tricky because now I'm moving into Central America as well as like the Eastern Bloc and Africa. So definitely my weakest points in geography. I do love my geography though, so always willing to learn. Belize. Belize sounds Eastern European to me. Possibly African. Let's find out. Nope. There are a few red planes moving around still. I mean, all of those planes going to Houston are pretty heavy, so let's give them another one. Did I put that right on behind that other one? Yeah, those two are basically on top of each other. Oh well. Pittsburgh. Okay, so now we're up to 30 minutes to get Syria. And we'll just hold out and wait to gain a bit more money. Actually, I realize that possibly all of these are packed because Denver is currently a hot location to travel to. Let's probably upgrade that plane, because otherwise Houston is just going to get crunched with people flying to Denver. We get crunched anyway. I mean, I think it takes the planes longer, like even the 5 of them take longer to get here than this guy does to do his return trip. Montreal. Paris is almost full. I mean, we can just spend the money, we've got it. And we can upgrade it again if we really want to. I mean, I realize that this is just Denver is flooding it, but and Mexico and Los Angeles and Guadalajara and Houston are all basically just because there's so many people waiting for Denver, they're not getting addressed. Houston's feeling the pinch too. I do feel like this Denver plane is going to sort this out. I mean, that's only lightly going up, I think. Portland, I mean, they can go to Seattle. Very briefly spent some time in Portland. We were trying to fly from Australia to Portland, but to fly, what we'd worked out is if we were going to do that, we would have to fly from Melbourne to Los Angeles on what was it? On Saturday morning. We would, because of the time zones, we would then end up in we'd fly to what was it? LA, and then to Portland, and we would arrive Portland time at about 10 p.m. Saturday night. But we worked out that instead, if we flew to Hawaii Friday night, we would arrive in Hawaii Friday morning. We could spend the whole day in Hawaii, stay in Hawaii overnight, have the whole next day in Hawaii, and then fly from Hawaii Saturday evening to arrive in Seattle on Sunday morning at like 6 a.m. and then just rent a car and drive to Portland. So instead of instead of arriving at 10 p.m. Saturday, we arrived at 6 a.m. Sunday and got 2 days in Hawaii, which I definitely think was a worthwhile trade. And then, yeah, what we did is we drove straight through Portland to McMinnville to go see the Spruce Goose. Discovered that had a private tour that you could do to go up into the cockpit, which we'll absolutely hang around for that. So let's delay all our plans for the rest of today. And then we got back to Portland, and I think the only things we did in Portland was we went to Pittock Manor to see if we could get a good view of the mountain, the Mount Hood. I think that's Mount Hood. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then we went to Voodoo Donuts, and I think then had dinner, and then left Portland the next day, going past like Multnomah Falls, up and along till we hit that there's like a just inside Washington State, there's a war memorial that's in the shape of what Stonehenge would look like if it was fully completed. Yeah. And then up through where Northern Exposure's exterior shots were filmed, and then the exterior of the hotel from Twin Peaks, and then got to Seattle and had crab pot. Anyone from that part of the world will probably know that I'm not a big seafood fan. My wife is, so certainly when we got to, if we're going to be in the northwest of America, you've got to be eating your seafood, and yeah, I did it, and certainly it was top notch. All right, well, with that little story, that's now put us with $120,000. So that was a nice little pause for us. We have Columbus, Ohio. It's plain. We'll make sure everyone else is all still happy. These guys on the exterior are a bit yellow, so I'll give Toronto. It's probably a big major city up there. There's Orlando. I don't think there'll be too many cities in this part of the world to justify making its own little hub down here or anything. I think we'll just keep them through Houston. Georgia. All right, let's see how fast we can gain some extra countries here and what sort of time we can push up to. So them going. We'll get Jordan. They can go through Cairo. Well, since these are countries that we're going to, we'll up their planes a little bit. Burundi. Yeah. The die would be strong if that was like Brunei or somewhere down in Southeast Asia, but it's definitely not where this is going to be. Burundi. I think that's in Western Africa. Oh, am I thinking of Burkina Faso? New York. Those people trying to get to New York from Central Africa. Burundi. Maybe Central. When in doubt, I'm probably getting something about Central America. No, I concede. That was close. No, I wasn't. I don't know. I mean, I said the word Africa at some point in that rambling, so partial credit. Iran, we know where that is. Yep. Still go through Turkey for this. Gabon. It's a French city, is it? It's Gabon. Or is that a country? The country. That's pretty far away to be going through Turkey. What's our plan at this point? What will be my intention with all of these guys? I mean, Delhi's going to be about here. So a lot of Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh can all sort of centralize through here. But that would otherwise then mean that India is going all the way to Turkey and to Moscow. Do I want something in between? I don't think I necessarily need it. We'll go with just long flights here. See how we go. We can always change it if need be. Lebanon. Another nice little easy one there that we'll just do just for the... I do hate that. If you roll your mouse wheel while you're doing that stick. You roll your mouse wheel while you're trying to build an airline, a path that'll just zoom in on the city you started on. Namibia. Namibia is southern Africa. I went on a trip to Madagascar, and it was like a group tour. And the people that... thing I discovered is that the people that go to Madagascar on holidays have pretty much been everywhere else, and it's the end of the world for them. I mean, not for me. It does sound like I've been to a lot of places, but it's just I can talk a lot about the ones that I have been to. I went to there because I just wanted to take a holiday to an island. I wanted to go somewhere for 2 weeks that I felt like I could see the whole, like, get a sense of the whole thing in 2 weeks. So my short list was Madagascar, Sri Lanka, I think, or Cuba. And I landed on Madagascar for pretty reasons. So, although I do still really want to go to Cuba. I think that was too tricky to figure out how to get to. And then I've since discovered it's probably not as hard as I thought. Anyway, those veteran seasoned travelers that went to Madagascar seem to have been to a fair bit of Africa. And seemingly Namibia was their highest praised country to visit in there, that it's very unique to itself and a lot of fun. So certainly not somewhere I have been yet, but somewhere that does now certainly interest me. Now, in terms of getting Namibia, why are you struggling? Monterey. Alright, well, it's up. Monterey's service. Kind of want... I mean, Cape Town's the capital of South Africa. If Johannesburg was the capital, then I would probably build this through there. But I wonder if maybe I should actually use somewhere like Zimbabwe or Botswana, or I don't know where Namibia's capital is going to be. But if I actually should have all of these guys just sort of connect through here, as opposed to having to go all the way to the south. Where's Botswana's? There. Yeah, we'll go for Botswana. That's central enough for me. We'll want to upgrade him. Now, one thing that you might get from this video, and possibly a few of the other videos on this, is I do thoroughly love travel, and I love talking about travel. So if you have any neat travel stories, feel free to chuck them in the comments. I realize that that's very much something that someone could say just to attempt to improve the algorithm. That possibly I'm doing that just because I want the comments in to be bumped. But I promise you I do read them, and I do thoroughly love, especially since I'm about 2 years removed from having been able to travel anywhere in the world. I am definitely missing my travel, and I would love to hear about yours. So if you've got any neat travel stories, funny ones, terrible ones, painful ones, great ones, places you recommend, I would love to hear all of it, because it is something that I love to sit there and look at future trips that I could possibly take, and all sorts of things. Since Iran does have four cities here, I actually think I am going to make it a hub. Iran can... I don't think I expected it to be as busy as it is. Well, like in that I have so many cities in it. So we will allow it to just be the next connection, and we'll give Cairo connection to it as well. And in fact, let's give Cairo a connection down here too. Alright, well now we're staring at 40 minutes to get Guinea, which is just here. And now that I've got my Mali sort of connection there, I guess places like this are going to just be really nice and easy to join in. But we will call that as the end of episode 3 here. Thanks for watching, and any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. But till next time, I'll catch you later. See ya.